Good evening and welcome to this special edition of KLRN Sports Replay. We were able to do a few games this year on our channel, and we were real happy that Lincoln High School did so well. And we have here with us tonight Coach Robin Burgard from the Lincoln High Patriots. Robin, this season seemed like a very outstanding, well obviously it was a very outstanding season. It seemed kind of incredible that any team could go undefeated. We want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, great question. And it has never been done before during the AA, since the AA's have been around. And I think that was the mid '80s when that started. And obviously some teams have gone undefeated in the A's and the B's, but heck of an effort by this group of kids. It's something you always talk about, trying to win every game, and you don't put it into preference that 25-0. I don't know if it just seems too much at that point, but obviously it goes back to 2 or 3 years ago when these guys started playing on varsity as sophomores. We had a 19-win season that year. We were the number 2 seed in the state tournament. And then obviously last year we were 20-5 for the season and the number 1 seed in the state tournament as well. And had a chance to get these guys some great experiences. Never was able to get a state championship, and that's always the goal: get into the state tournament, give yourself a chance to win a championship. But I thought those experiences and those opportunities they had the last couple of years, you really gave them something to fight for and to work for to finish off this year. And obviously they had such great success in all their different activities this year that another fitting championship for them in boys AA basketball.
Now it seemed like the games, we taped the Washington game here and then the Roosevelt game, and it seemed like the games were always close up until a certain point in the game where Lincoln just kind of took over. Do you think your defense just wore the other teams down, or?
Well, we hope so. We tried to play a different style, than a lot of teams play. We really tried to commit to playing all 90 feet of the whole, on the entire floor for 32 minutes. And I guess what we hope for is, even if we don't get a chance in, the first half and the second half to get some steals and some easy baskets, that at least we're making teams play at a speed maybe they're not used to playing. And we talk a lot during practice, and we work very hard in practice trying to make sure our stamina and our we're ready to play at that level for all 32 minutes, and hopefully wear them down or maybe make their shots a little bit tougher to go in. And if we ever get a chance to get a couple things going, it just seems like you said, it just happened in a big quick way that all of a sudden there was a 10-point swing in the game, and that's something we work awfully hard to get to that point. And obviously the great athletes that we had, it was a really fun way to play.
Now you played Watertown in Watertown and won by 2 points, and then you played them again in the tournament. And my observation, maybe I'm incorrect, but it looked like they were the toughest team for you in the tournament. Do you want to talk a little bit about playing Watertown? Yeah,
and I think anytime you get to the state tournament, everybody's feeling awfully good about their teams, and I think the players are feeling very confident about their teams. And I thought even our first game against Spearfish, that's a team I think we beat by about 50 points in our first game, and ended up winning, in a lot different style of game in the first game of the state tournament. And obviously they were playing better, and yet we needed to find some things we needed to keep fine-tuning a little bit. And obviously, like you said, the Watertown game, a team that, a lot of people were saying team playing the best of anybody in the state tournament, winning the last 8 games. They just forgot that we'd won 22 getting into the state tournament. But they were a very good team, had a very good individual player. Unfortunately for them, we had Brett Anderson that just kind of took that job and decided that he wasn't going to be the best player on the floor, that somebody from Lincoln or our team was going to be the best team. And obviously that's what happened. And it was a very close game for 3 quarters, like you said. I think it was a 1-point game at halftime. And we got that spurt, just like you talked about, and there was an 8 to 10 point run where we knocked down, I think Tony had a big 3, and Anthony had a couple steals, and all of a sudden we were up 8 or 10, and I think everybody just kind of thought, both our team as a positive thing and their team maybe as a negative thing, that the tide had changed, and it kind of finished that way the rest of the game.
How did you plan for the Huron championship game?
Interesting thing, when you have to play 3 games in a row like that, you can't really prepare for each team because you don't know which team you're going to play, so you can't prepare for 7 or 8. But one thing that I thought was a positive thing for us going to the state tournament is we could kind of prepare for 2 different teams. We had 8 days to get ready, and we could kind of prepare for a couple teams that were kind of a 5-out motion team that really tried to break you down off the dribble, so we did a lot of breakdowns on that. And the other team had kind of one really good post player that could kind of score at 15 feet into the post. And so we were able to pretty much break down our practices into 2 different style of teams we were going to play, and that really helped us. And those obviously were the 2 type we played Spearfish the first game with 5 perimeter players, and then Watertown and Huron, which had a great individual post player. and that really helped us. I thought we were very well prepared for both those styles.
One thing that struck me watching your team is that they were definitely a team. There are some good individual players, obviously, but it seemed to me like I've never seen a team so closely put together and work so well together.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. We kept 11 seniors. That isn't always a very good decision for a coach to make, to keep 11 seniors, and usually you don't try to keep seniors around that aren't going to play a lot or be a big contributor to what's happening on the floor, but we just thought that every one of them worked so hard, whether it was a player that played 32 minutes or a player that was hoping to get in the last minute. We really tried to get all those guys a chance, and they all agreed early that they'd be happy with that. And even in January, when you talk to them, when all those things start to feel a little bit different, that they were happy, they knew their roles, whatever they needed to do to get better, and yet they still tried to make it tough for me. They practiced very hard, and they tried to earn their spots and chances to play a lot, and that was the difference. That can either go two ways when you keep that many seniors, and luckily it went the right way, and all they did is keep working very hard. But we kept a group that really worked very hard, and like you said, the team chemistry was really good. And I know coaches always throw that out as a big thing, but these guys actually like each other and hang out together. And if you watch the other interview as a group, it's an interesting thing, and they keep each other on a pretty level plane. If somebody has a big game, they kind of make sure they keep them at a level thing, and it's kind of interesting. It's interesting to watch from the sideline a little bit just to see how they handle it. And as different as they all are individually, they all really came together as a group. And like you said, there were some great individual athletes, lots of different sports involved that all these guys play. And obviously our team speed from position 1 through 5 was maybe the best I've ever seen, if not close. Very, very athletic and very quick at each spot. And we could do some things that you can't always do. And, I thought the way the state tournament ended, we averaged giving up 37 points a game in the state tournament, and you try to keep teams in the 40s, and we kept 3 teams in the 30s as an average, and that was a heck of an effort, and a tribute to how hard these guys work and their defense.
Hi, I'm Marley Fiedler with KLRN Classroom TV, and today we're going to be introducing the Lincoln High School boys basketball team after winning the state championship.
Hi, I'm Anthony Meilenberg.
Almir Krzalik.
Austin Hurley.
Tony Bergstrom.
John Van Persson.
Ryan Turringer.
Mitch Vandenberg.
Derek Carlson.
Ryan Schmidtman.
Brett Anderson. Luke Hanneman.
Did any of you guys want to elaborate on any stories or things that happened during the championship this past weekend?
I thought this weekend was pretty much incredible. It just all came so fast, and now it's over. Proud to be 25-0. It was quite a run.
Should he not be?
Glad we won state, but I'm going to miss the team a lot and miss hanging out with them. But they're annoying sometimes, so I'm glad it's over.
Yeah, I'm going to miss it too, but I'm kind of happy because then I don't have to go to practice and have Hurley punch me in the nose and blame it on me again. I don't know, it's just going to be good not practicing with him anymore.
I really enjoy being a part of this team. Every single one of these guys, most of them are pretty nice except for like Al, but no, he's cool too. But I like all these guys, and I'm gonna miss being around these guys so much.
I'm really gonna miss Austin Hurley this after basketball's over, because me and him really had a special thing going on all the time. I'm not gonna miss Al because he makes fun of everybody, even though he's probably the ugliest person on this team. But anyway, yeah, me and Hurley had a special bond this year. I think that was really special. So.
I'm really going to miss hanging out with the team every day, too. Like Luke said, I'm going to miss every one of these guys. It was a pleasure to get to know you guys better and to be able to spend so much time with you. I'm also going to miss Coach Burgard's one-liners, and when he shows up at practice, it tells us that the next team we're playing just got 2 new 7-foot-tall people that moved into town. So I'm going to miss it a lot. It was a heck of a run.
I'm pretty much just going to miss Coach. All right, we got things to do today 3 times. I've heard that probably, I don't even know how many practices, but every single practice we had, he said that practice started. So I'm going to miss all these guys. A lot of memories have gone by now, so yeah.
Had a great run over the past few years. I'm going to miss my teammates, miss Coach's one-liners about how we're going to have cereal at Hurley's house and some cornflakes. But most of all, I'm going to miss the team. I'm going to miss hanging out with them, practicing with them. overall, it's been a good 2 years.
I'm going to miss everybody, especially Hurley, because we'd always shoot together, play one-on-one, everything. I'm not going to miss Luke because he'd always hurt me. And, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, it was a fun run. 25 games in a row. Sure went quick because we didn't lose any. It's fun shooting threes with Tony, of course. Fun time at the state tournament.
What I'm going to miss most is probably seeing who can make more threes in a single practice, me or John. I'm also going to miss everyone on the team. I mean, they're great friends, and we've been with them so long, it doesn't even seem like we're teammates. It's more than that.
I'm going to miss Brett and Derek guarding them, following them all the time, and then all of them complaining because I'm too buff for them.
You guys already know I average about 5 assists a game because I'm probably the best player on the team. I would have had like 10 if John and Tony were in the game the whole time, so I think Coach should have started them over Anthony and Luke. But I'm going to miss the guys a lot. It's probably the hardest thing to do is, I don't know, I'm glad we won state, but I don't know, it sucks it's over, and I wish we had practice after school again, actually.
Well, the thing is why Coach didn't start Tony and John is because they're lazy and don't play defense. All they want to do is shoot. So that's why Luke started. But, yeah, I'm going to miss the team. I'm going to miss Al, always clowning on people, me and Al, clowning on teammates and stuff like that. But it was fun. We all got really close and became more than teammates. Became like a big family and brotherhood, and I'm going to miss that. And I'm going to miss Coach Burgard. It's been great playing with them the past few years, and, yeah.
Can you guys elaborate on any of the games that were really close? Any things you guys were close to losing? But
The Stevens game was really close, but the only reason it was close is because Derek was gone. That's what he thinks, but so I don't know. All the games have been close, but I don't think any of us were nervous at all at any single time of the game. We were all really confident. You know, we have 11 seniors, so we knew what we had to do to win, so we won. And we have a great coach, so he helped us out.
Well, during the Watertown game, we were tied at like 45, about like 10 seconds left to go, and Anthony just knocked down 2 free throws. That shows how like Anthony can stay cool under pressure, and our whole team can stay under pressure, go back, play half-court defense, and not let them get game-winning shot.
Well, like Hurley said in the Watertown game, Anthony hit 2 free throws because he wouldn't pass me the ball when I was wide open. He had to have all the glory for himself, so it worked out, but
Well, start of the year, I guess we had pretty good winning margin, but a lot of games got closer after the start of the Washington game. Those were always fun games. I don't know. We never were nervous that we were going to lose, so I don't know. It was a fun time.
Coach always has prepared for the games, so I was never really worried that we were going to lose any of them.
Probably the game I remember most was the district game against Washington when we were down probably 3 or 4 points, and it was kind of at a standstill for about 2 minutes there. We were down by 3 with 2:30 left to go. This team showed a lot of heart by coming back and finding a way to win that game.
Mine probably was the first Washington game when we were down by 5, and I think 3 of our starting 5 were in foul trouble, and they were going at us pretty good. There was a loud gym. There's a lot of people there. I think we weren't really ready to play. I thought we just came out and knew we were going to win, but after fourth quarter, we knew what we had to do. And our starting 5 were back in without foul trouble anymore. So, but that game probably scared me the most. So, yeah.
We had some close games this year. A lot of them weren't so close, but some of the closer ones were against Watertown and against Washington and against Stevens. But I guess I never really got nervous because this is a team full of seniors, and we got a lot of leaders on this team. And like other people have said, our coach always told us that we had everything we need to win, so we never really got worried out there. It was just about performing and doing what we had to do to get the job done.
Yeah, I was never really scared during the season of losing a game because every game that we came to, we were confident and even though we got lazy sometimes, I think that we still fought through that and fought through all different kinds of situations. And I'm pretty confident that our games wouldn't have been close if I could have shot more threes, because I think that that would have broken it wide open. But other than that, I wasn't really nervous throughout the season.
Everyone's talking about how they're never nervous, but I got nervous quite a bit. The main game that I was actually nervous for was the Washington Districts game. We were down 4 with about 2 minutes left. I don't know. Yeah. Someone correct me. It was like a minute. 2 minutes left, and I was getting nervous there, but it seemed like we knew what we had to do. We came in, we executed, we played defense, and we got the win. That was 2 big free throws. So.
Also watching Almir Gadzalik handle the ball, he seems like he can really do some interesting things with the ball and his body. And can you talk a little bit about your, Amir and Anthony and
Sure.
those people?
I'd be glad to. Al's maybe one of the quickest players with the basketball I've ever coached, and he is so good with it. And yet the best thing about that, he can score, and he could have shot a lot more if he wanted to. But like we talked about, the only thing he cared about is the Lincoln Patriots coach or score. He didn't care who scored, and the guys knew that get your hands ready, because he was on the dribble to get ready, because he was probably going to pass if you were open. And obviously he led us in assists and one of our second or third leading scorers as well. So, and the thing we tried to work better with Al this year was our turnover to assist ratio, and he kind of doubled that where it was last year. When we got a chance to get a steal last year, there was times we came down the floor and didn't finish, and I thought he did a really good job of understanding when we had numbers and when we needed to pull it out and run our offense. But Al, with the basketball, is really good, and obviously his man-to-man defense is maybe second to none too. He could guard people really well, and he moved his feet so good. Obviously, growing up playing soccer, that just seems to be a real segue in how good those people are defensively, just because of how they work with their feet. But he does a really nice job on both ends of the floor. At the other guard is Anthony Meilenberg, just a pure athlete. I mean, he gets his hands on more basketballs than I've ever seen. In fact, that's a new stat we started keeping this year, was deflections, and he got his hands on more stuff, and obviously that's the biggest reason we added our full court pressure, just because of the way he could play and the things he could do at 6'2", and how he covered the whole floor. And there'd be times where they'd get a pass and get by him, and he'd come back down the floor and get a tip on the next pass, just because he was so athletic and just had such a feel for where he needed to be on the floor. So, and obviously he was our second leading scorer as well. So great defense, great offense, a true team player on the basketball floor. At 3, Luke Hanneman. Maybe one of the most surprising guys when he was a freshman. He wasn't very tall, and he didn't weigh a lot, but he's a player that just continually worked at it. And then all of a sudden he's 6'2", 6'3", and with point guard skills, what a great person to add to this bunch and the way we played. He did such a good job on both ends of the floor, and a true team player as well, and continually got better throughout the season. I thought he was playing his best during the state tournament. Derek Carlson, a really athletic player. He reminds me of some of the stuff he does. They always talk about the Love kid that plays for the Timberwolves, how he rebounds and makes a pass, right off the rebound. And Derek does such a good job of that, keeping the ball high and then getting the outlet pass out. And obviously did a great job. I think he led us in scoring, led us in either first or second in rebounding, and just did a very good job at 6'3", whatever. He's not very tall, but he sure plays very large. And then obviously inside was Brett Anderson, probably the smartest player I've ever had a chance to be around. He just always knew what to do and where to be. Kind of the next important part on that full court press is the guy that's in the middle. He's kind of got to cover from the top of the key all the way to the baseline, and he does a whale of a job with that. And he led us in a lot of different things and kind of had stats in everything offensively too. But he's the guy that from a 3, 4, or 5 that we put on their best player. And we didn't really help him very much, from Colton Iverson last year to the guys that are supposed to be D1 players this year. He guarded them and did a great job. And, we were very fortunate this year to have a great bench as well. But Tony Bergstrom, a pure shooter and also a great soccer player who was great defensively, came off the bench and gave us some great lifts. And John Van Pearsum, another really good shooter. I mean, those guys come off the bench without doing anything for 5 minutes, and they get one pass and knock down a 3. And then Mitch Vandenberg, a 6'7" player who, could have started for us a lot of other years, accepted his role and just came in and had a great state tournament and had some great games along the way too, but led us in blocks, either first or second rebounds, and coming off the bench, that's not easy to do, but to have that many people that contributed, and they're all seniors and 3 other seniors that just practiced very hard and contributed when it was their time too, was a big key.
Well, next year I assume will be kind of a rebuilding year for for Lincoln? Or do you have some people that we don't know about that are coming up there?
Well, that's the nice thing about the AA schools is you always have some other players. Last year, nobody thought we were going to have much of a team either after we lost that whole group of seniors the year before. So, and we went 20-5 that year. So there's some players, and obviously they need to put in some serious time now through next December, and that'll be the key to how good we play next year. But I think our freshman team lost 1 or 2 games the whole year. Our sophomore team lost 1 or 2 games all year. Our JV team had a smaller schedule this year, but did a good job too. So there's lots of people around that can play, and Sioux Falls basketball is so good right now that it's going to take a big time effort on their part over the summer to get better. I think Sioux Falls has won the state AA 7 of the last 14 years. So basketball here is very good and very competitive, and we plan on being competitive next year too.
Well, thank you, Coach Brigard, for your time, and congratulations on a wonderful season.
Thank you very much, and for covering our basketball games too. It's going to be fun to look back in a few years and watch this team play again.
And Mike. In 2009, the Lincoln Patriots are perfect. Congratulations to the Huron Tigers. They'll finish out 17-7, but Mike, the Lincoln Patriots at 25-0.
And did they put an exclamation point on it? They only allowed 5 points in that fourth quarter. And some of that came after the outcome was no longer in doubt.
South Dakota High School Activities Association. 2009 Boys State AA Basketball Champions, the Lincoln Patriots. Team members are Dominic Murphy, Ryan Schmidtman, John Van Pearson, Houston Hoffman, Almir Kurdzanic, Anthony Mudenberg, Luke Hannon, Tony Bergstrom, Degmawi Desjardins, Ryan Thuringer, Brett Anderson, Austin Hurley, Derek Carlson, Nick Southwick, Tom Medler, Colin Chose, Greg Harner, and Mitch Venberg. Assistant coaches of the Lincoln Patriots, Scott Embry. Jeff Halseth. Eric Rice. Cliff Toole. And Ryan Rothenberger. Ladies and gentlemen, accepting the 2009 State AA Boys Basketball Championship Trophy, on behalf of the Lincoln Patriots, head coach Robin Burgard. Attention Patriot fans, a welcome home celebration for the Lincoln Patriots will be held at the Lincoln Gymnasium on Sunday at 2 p.m. Once again, a welcome home celebration for the Lincoln Patriots, Sunday, 2 p.m. in the Lincoln Gym.